Parable of a Fake Hero by Gémino H. This was written on February 5, 1986 at the tent city in Ugartefeld, Makati. The fall to his incredible rise began when he held a man at a lighted window in his gun sight and pulled the trigger with an inner shout of triumph louder than gunshot. Thereupon he fell with his victim, but deeper than his victim's grave, all his words fled into great silence, and truth, the father of language, abandoned him. In jail, he studied his own case and found the image of the hero as his cocoon from which, in the darkness, he might emerge as father to his people. For this image, he invented in a great void of spirit the other side of language, and became invisible to himself and invulnerable human justice. In no time, a man who had otherwise loved justice set him free. It is expedient, he said, that our laws bend than that this brilliant mind be lost. For the man of laws was dazzled by the convict's speech, in which the words were clothed with the cold fire of the hero frustrating to be born. Then the great war broke out, a time of evil and blood when men's words hung lost their flesh and found no ground within. Men fought and died and none forever damp. A stupid fate thought the hero, how will I justify my fiction if I die anon? His cocoon grew larger than life. He stalked the enemy with provisions and founded a toothbrush factory that sold information and metal scrap. And when liberators came and the tide of fortune changed, the toothbrush merchant also turned into soldiers. They valiantly defended a mountain pass from a long distance. The secret of survival lay in the magic of metamorphosis. Verily, it was a liberation. The hero emerged like a great moth, and since the people had grown accustomed to evil, their darkness was yet as light, and the moth could not fear exposure. Al stood for election upon his own bemeddled ground and always won, for his words made him invisible, and men who listened found that their empty hearts had turned into stone. It was easy afterwards, with laws of his calculation, to build a state in his own image and likeness. The incredible rise to his full end, when again he held a man in his gun sight at a crowded airport. Pusila! Fire! And the victim, clothed in white and surrounded by daylight, fell to Solder's ballot. Ako na! Mine, this world's kingdom. Then the silence into which their language had long withdrawn entered their souls, and their multitude became a great aching solitude in which they cried out to their Father in heaven. Teach us, Father, the difference between outrage and hatred. Teach us, Father, the difference between justice and violence. And the fatal February came and turned on a sudden into summer, and on a seventh day, in a blaze of sunlight, the hero found to his dismay that his cocoon had no more words, only dust and gunpowder. His lies had become like skulls that filled his eyes. He lost his sleep over a woman who called him coward to his face, and all media rushed to cover his bleeding fears, and this drew near too. Guess what? I'm never gonna be that